You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Wolverine Revenge #1. And now I have to get to the credits. It is written by Jonathan Hickman, pencils by Greg Capullo, inks by Tim Townsend, colors by F.C.O. Placencia, and letters by VC's Corey Petit. I said I didn't realize this was coming out this week. I actually was surprised. Cool. I didn't. I was looking forward to it, but I never really checked when it was coming out. There's a lot of Hickman coming out. We have 2 books on the show this week, and then next week he has that Aliens versus the Avengers book. So he's a busy man. But here, I also didn't know what was going on in this book. We actually didn't know if it was in continuity, if it was one of those things that the Weird Dose of X guys would end up doing. They still may, but this isn't in continuity.
No, you find that out pretty quickly when events
if it is,
happen.
There's big troubles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, real big troubles. But it starts out with a bit of a description, and here it is. No one knows how it happened, as no one lived who was there. What is known is that as Asteroid M burned up on reentry, Magneto breathed his last breath, and when he died, it released the largest EMP in the history of mankind. Then the Northern Hemisphere went dark. That was 10 days ago. So you end up where it kind of reminded me a little of the beginning of the Tom Taylor Dark Age, I believe it was, when they ended up having all the electricity and everything go up. But that kind of ended up getting delayed and didn't finish very well. So you have this with Wolverine. And even reading that, I'm like, this isn't what I had no idea what to think. First off, Greg Capullo's art's great.
Yeah, I don't know that I recall ever seeing him on anything Marvel. Maybe it's been a while. It's so weird to see him drawing something other than Batman. And Batman, last time I saw Greg Capullo doing anything, I think one of them was playing a bass guitar. Maybe it was Batman or somebody.
Yeah, Batman looked like Gene Simmons in Death Metal. Just doing that nonsense. But you start out in the Savage Land and you see that, you start at Wolverine within 2 pages is on a Triceratops, and it's like my dream come true.
Yeah, it's already so
cool.
You
get that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And he ends up where they're hunting down some things, and he's not aware of what happened. He's there trying to help these guys pretty much take down what looks like a T-Rex or whatever the dinosaur may be. I'm sure somebody will call me out on it because it's not a T-Rex.
It's like a big version of a velociraptor.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, a huge velociraptor. And at one point, it's just disgusting where Wolverine goes underneath and just
shredding.
I mean, it's disgusting.
You thought he was going to do that move where he goes inside the stomach and bust out, right?
That ain't happening. If he got anywhere near that mouth, he's done. But yeah, he just claws the hell out of it and ends up where he's about to kill it, and then it just gets shot through. And it's Nick Fury, OG.
I like the OG Nick Fury. I was happy to see
he comes in. I like that they don't even walk Maria Hills with them. They're on this like floating platform that they come in. And they end up telling Wolverine what happened. The whole world is in trouble. Wolverine was not aware of this whole thing with Asteroid M, the EMP. And even then, Nick Fury says, hey, America needs you. And I even thought, like, right away, and Wolverine says, like, I'm Canadian. He's like, there's not really Canada anymore. There's not really. And they talk about how Quebec got hit pretty hard and how all the things going. Now, give Hickman some credit, but maybe he could have introduced some of the characters a little more, because all of a sudden we're on the carrier and you're just thrown in and you end up having, Cap, Bucky, Maria, you have Dum Dum. They're all just there and they're getting a little bit of the rundown of what they're going to have to do. And pretty much everybody seems to be dead. I mean, everybody who they know, there's not much left. You end up where Nick Fury, they only have a couple of the carriers left. And so the big thing that they're going is they have to go and face off against the Brotherhood of evil mutants, where they can get a cold fusion seed reactor. That's the big thing. Now, when you first see this, you see Mastermind, you kind of think that he's the guy who's in charge. It kind of ends up not being quite that when we do get there, and there's a bit of a swerve shock deal, but they end up like coming up with a plan. All right, we're going to go take the Brotherhood of Evil mutants on, and they just start going off. And I'm like, this is pretty quick. Like, I thought we were going to get a little more introduction, like I said, to all of the characters and things. But yeah, it's really, really quick, the way that they go.
Like, these are like all the classic S.H.I.E.L.D. members.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. And then
and it's funny, like, I thought at the beginning, because at the very beginning, you end up seeing and thinking, okay, well, they're gonna knock off, some of the lesser known people, but Cap and Bucky, they're gonna live. We'll see. That isn't the case as we go, because as they're going, you end up having Mastermind take over the one ship, and you end up having Clay. He ends up just blasting them all. They end up, and it's kind of a subtle deal where Nick Fury tells, the others, you got to jump.
Get out, jump.
Yeah, you got to get out of here. You got to jump. And they do, and the carrier blows up. So he's done. So right away, now we're like, yeah, this isn't in continuity. It was already with Magneto.
Because Nick Fury doesn't make it out, but like Maria Hill does and a couple other S.H.I.E.L.D. guys.
Yeah. I like the rando S.H.I.E.L.D. guy who's like, he's coughing and then just gets run through with a sword. and I mean, if you're reading this, you can tell it's Sabretooth. You can see that it's Sabretooth actually dealing with that. But they're going into this, compound. And then when Maria Hill gets killed, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of people dying here. This is crazy. And Bucky and Cap and Wolverine kind of get separated. They're going into to infiltrate, this deal, and they all get taken. They all get taken down, and it's crazy. And then when you do see Wolverine, because you see Cap and Bucky go down, and they're not dead. They get captured. But then you see Wolverine, and it's kind of crazy. You got Deadpool, Sabretooth, and Omega Red. Deadpool's kind of the cool, side guy there. That was pretty neat to have. And so, again,
came out of nowhere.
Yeah, this seems like, again, it's a pretty violent story, but it seems cool. I'm not going to say it's like laugh, riot, funny, but it is fun in an action sort of way. And like we said, the art looks fantastic.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
They're captured. You have Cap, Bucky, and Wolverine. And the big thing is like, well, what is this plan? What are they going to do with them? Well, they ended up putting almost like brain bombs.
Yeah, Cap's like, something's wrong with my chest.
Yeah. It's like,
He's got a big hole in it.
He's got a big hole. He ends up where they did surgery. And they even go and talk about how they had to, for Wolverine, because Wolverine obviously heals. So they had to do some crazy stuff. They use Omega Red, diseases and things to, kind of slow the healing process. Then they had to like jam this bomb into his rib cage, because while he heals, it would try to push it out, but it's going to push against the rib cage. And Wolverine's pretty pissed about it. But the worst thing is the detonation deal is Deadpool has it.
Yeah, he's the worst one to have it.
Why? I guess they don't care. And even then, when you end up having Bucky and Cap are like, why are they doing this? What are you guys doing? Because again, the rest of the world, what they're doing, they're going to get this cold fusion reactor so that they can kind of bring energy at least to the world, and try at least to do that, because the world, especially the Northern Hemisphere, is out. But then you end up having the big swerve. It's Colossus comes in. He's involved. He seems to kind of be the leader when he walks in, and he starts talking about how he's going to use it for the East, the Russian, and that they're going to light up. They're going to have the energy, and the North can screw it. And basically, they'll end up being the big power in the world. That's about the basis of this whole story. Pretty cool. I mean, that's a cool deal. You get an idea of what they're going against. I don't know it is pretty big, but it is kind of like, let's see who can turn on the electric at certain spots. But you end up where it does say Wolverine on the cover. It doesn't say Wolverine, Cap, and Bucky.
No.
And I actually was thinking like, wait a minute, this is more than a Wolverine book. But what happens, Wolverine says they're just playing with them. Like they're just playing with their food. But the big thing here is they let him go. And they say, like, you get out of here.
Yeah, get out of range.
Yeah, it's very odd that they just like, they capture them to tell them their plan to let them go. But they do have those bombs. And yeah, they have to run. And they start running. At least Cap and Bucky, they take off and trying to get out of range of this remote control. And I like to even have these symbols on it there. And Cap and Bucky get blown up. They get completely blown up. They're dead. There's no doubt about it.
Not a good way to go out, I don't think.
No. And then while that's going on, Wolverine didn't go. He's like, screw that. But he starts to try to claw the bomb. He's trying to rip the bomb out of his chest. And they're just, talking about it and like just pretty much laughing at him. But they Deadpool blows up his bomb.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And he's like, boom. But the thing, I'm telling you, Sabretooth, Colossus, I don't think they would want. They already talked about his healing pack. don't they realize that
maybe
do they care?
But maybe in this continuity, this never happened to him. Who knows?
I don't know, because I mean, he obviously has this healing factor. But yeah, you can say maybe they didn't see it, but you could kind of figure. But yeah, he gets blown to smithereens. It looks crazy.
Just basically just goo like on the ground.
Yeah. And then he comes back, but they walked out. They ended up like, okay, let's go get him. Now we take the seed and relight our half of the world. So basically, it's East versus West and Colossus thing.
The Colossus thing's a little bit far fetched because he spent so much time in the West, and he's an X-Men. For him to turn on them that quickly is kind of odd, but
yeah. And again, it was Magneto coming down with Asteroid M. It's not like they had S.H.I.E.L.D. blew up something where you could have Colossus say, that's bull crap, and I'm going to go with my deal. But there he is. And Deadpool, like I said, a pretty interesting addition. I kind of want Cap and Bucky to last a little longer because I like them as well. But it is a Wolverine revenge. He has to have revenge for something. And he's going to have revenge for everything now because everybody's dead. It's just Wolverine. Wolverine really, and that's the funny part of it, Wolverine really, to me, doesn't care to relight the world. He just wants to kill all of them now. He's probably just really pissed, but we'll see who he runs into, what's going on. And they even said at one point, Nick Fury, like, there's already billions, but it could be everybody could die if they don't get things going here. And that's why they said, we can't just go and do rescue missions. There's too many people that are down and not really any way to get to them.
There's no choice. They have to succeed. Basically.
So they have to do it, but now it's just Wolverine. So we'll see how that goes. Or just everybody move to the east. But without power, it's going to be tough, I guess, to move anywhere.
It's pretty cold out there. I'm going to go pretty high. I like the art a lot. The Hickman stuff was pretty interesting take on everything. I like that. Kind of like that it's an Elseworlds because it can kind of play in its own sandbox, I guess. I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 9 too. The art's great.
Yeah.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.